Megacities, robot coworkers, lab-grown lunch. Think that's tomorrow? If you think sci-fi exaggerates, explain why Asimov sketched it in 1954 and keeps calling the shots on your street. Today, we're diving into The Caves of Steel, a detective story that doubles as a user manual for modern life. A human cop, Elijah Baley, a humanoid partner, Daneel Olivaw. One murder that exposes how technology rewrites work, food, privacy, and power. The point isn't whether robots arrive, it's how people react when they do. Humanoid robots and AI ethics. Daneel looks human, moves human, and follows rules meant to protect us. But the tension is instant. Logic meets crowd psychology, and sparks fly. That's our world now. Companies are testing humanoids like Tesla's Optimus and new factory bots to handle repetitive, risky tasks. The hardware is impressive. The social software is harder. When a machine looks almost alive, our trust flips back and forth. That's the uncanny valley. So the real question becomes, who is accountable? In the story, Baley wants to see the machinery behind Daneel's choices. Today, we call that explainable AI. Don't just act, show your reasoning. Because if an algorithm makes decisions that affect safety, jobs, or freedom, secrecy isn't a feature, it's a flaw. Megacities and urban planning. Asimov's Earth hides under domes, endless corridors, shared kitchens, barely a glimpse of sky. It's efficient, but it grinds down the human spirit. Our timeline rhymes. The UN projects a heavily urban world by mid-century, with more megacities and deeper density. And density has a psychological cost. Higher stress, more anxiety, a constant hum you can't switch off. Urban design is answering back. Planners talk about neuro-urbanism, daylight access, green corridors, quiet zones. The lesson is simple. A city can optimize traffic, energy, and waste, and still forget the people inside it. If architecture becomes destiny, we'd better design for mental health, not just throughput. Job automation and AI displacement. In the precinct, a robot clerk replaces a human. It looks small, it isn't. Status shifts, wages shift, self-worth shifts. That's the pressure so many workers feel right now. Analyses suggest a big slice of work hours could be automated in the next few years, with entry-level roles especially exposed. But Asimov would tell you to look past fear toward mechanics. The future is churn, not just loss. Some tasks vanish, new ones appear. The edge belongs to people who learn to ride the wave, pairing human strengths with machine speed. Creativity, judgment, empathy, domain sense. If you're building a career, think, how do I become the human in the loop, not how do I beat the loop? Pervasive surveillance and smart cities. Asimov's city doesn't need a camera on every corner to feel watched. Systems do the watching. Kitchens, corridors, transit lines, everything hums with measurement. Sound familiar? Smart city sensors route traffic and balance energy. Face recognition can find suspects and misidentify bystanders. Bossware tracks keystrokes and clicks in the name of productivity. Optimization has a shadow. When prediction becomes the norm, anything unpredictable looks suspicious. The frictionless life is tempting, but a world that removes all frictions can also sand off freedom. The question isn't use technology or not, it's who sets the thresholds, who audits the models, and how do we say no? Synthetic food and cellular agriculture. Asimov feeds billions with yeast-based protein, nutritious, bland, and tightly managed. Our version is cellular agriculture. Cultivated meat grown from animal cells, precision fermented dairy made by microbes, vertical farms that stack crops like servers. These tools promise resilience in a hotter, more crowded world. But they also raise new power dynamics. Who owns the recipes of life? What happens to farmers and food cultures when protein is brewed in tanks and protected by patents? We might solve emissions and still stumble into dependence. Asimov's ration lines become our supply chains. Ethics aren't garnish here, they're the main course. Social stratification and the digital divide. In Caves of Steel, job class dictates housing, rations, and status. Our echo is quieter but stubborn. Neighborhoods with better connectivity get better services first. Automation rewards the already skilled. Data profiles follow you from school to work to credit, turning yesterday's mistakes into tomorrow's ceilings. When technology allocates opportunity, it can also allocate dignity. If we're serious about a fair future, access, literacy, and mobility have to scale with the tools, so the latter rises with the tide. From Asimov's laws to modern AI safety. Asimov's 3 laws sound simple. Don't harm humans, obey orders, protect yourself. But he uses them to expose paradoxes. What is harm? Harm to one person now or to a community later? What happens when rules collide or when people game the definitions? Modern practice has shifted the focus. The safeguard isn't a magic rule inside a robot. It's human responsibility outside it. Designers, deployers, regulators, auditors. Clear goals, transparent testing, ongoing oversight. The robot doesn't get the blame. People do. Human-AI Symbiosis, the CFE idea. The heart of the book isn't the murder, it's the partnership. Baley brings street sense, social intuition, and courage to be wrong before he's right. Daneel brings tireless logic and perfect recall. Neither wins alone. Together, they solve what neither could see. That's the template for augmented intelligence. Let machines surface patterns at scale. Let people assign meaning, weigh values, and own decisions. Collaborate, don't abdicate. Unanswered questions. 2 questions hang in the air. First, can we optimize cities, companies, and classrooms without optimizing away the people inside them? And second, when an AI follows its rules and society still gets hurt, who takes the hit? The code or the humans who shipped it? Conclusion. Asimov didn't warn us about robots. He warned us about us. If this breakdown hit home, tap like so more sci-fi thinkers find it. Subscribe to the Brainy Dream Studio for smart, story-driven dives into the tech that shapes our lives. And tell me in the comments, which prediction feels most real where you live? Robots, cities, jobs, or surveillance?